Well, hello there. Welcome into Drummer Daily. This is episode number 145. My name's Daniel Hadaway, and I'm so thankful that you could join me again for more drumming stuff. That's a southern term for what we're doing. I live in Nashville, and I've kind of lived in the southern U.S. my whole life, so my accent doesn't come out very much most of the time, but you get me around people with certain accents, I kind of take on the accent of whoever I'm talking to, which is annoying to other people, I guess, but I don't even notice it. Anyway, how are you? Are you doing well? I hope you are. So today I have a question from Austin, and this is a great question because it's something I don't think that we've talked about much here on the podcast, which to me, it's like we're 145 episodes in, and I wonder, is there anything left that we possibly could talk about? And of course there is, but that's just me being cynical. So anyway, Austin brings this up, and I think it's a great question. He says, Austin says, how often do you work on rudiments, and for how long? Also, what's your typical practice routine? I feel like I haven't been improving as much as I should be, and I know it's because I don't have a disciplined practice routine. I usually just end up jamming to music, practicing the church songs for that week, or playing grooves to a click. What would you recommend for a solid routine that will help me take my drumming to the next level? And that is a great question. And that's something that I'm not sure, Austin, you specifically, or whoever, as you're listening, if you've heard me talk about this before, but I'm actually not a very disciplined person naturally. Specifically, it's hard for me to stay disciplined with any kind of routine or anything like that where I'm not seeing immediate results, or that I don't think there'll be a big payoff in one moment, down the road. So anything that just provides me with gradual progress is really hard for me to do and stick to. So that definitely has affected how I practice the drums. Now, another thing is that I am in my 30s now. I have been for a while, and I'm definitely not old, but I've also been playing drums for a long time, and so I've kind of come to accept certain aspects of who I am as a drummer, and who I am as a person, and not beat myself up over those aspects and try to change them, too much. So one of those things is I just know that it's hard for me to stick to a drumming routine that if I'm not enjoying it. And I've always played drums only for fun. Now, my improvement really has come from the fact that I enjoy playing things that are difficult for me to play. I enjoy the challenge of learning new songs, and I enjoy just playing a lot. And so, again, my abilities come from as almost as a byproduct of my enjoyment of what I'm doing. And I kind of sense that that's what's happening with you too, Austin. So I just want to say this. I actually, most of my practice time, I play along with songs too. But I do notice that if I continually choose to play along with songs that I'm very familiar with, that I'll realize that I'll be getting stuck in a rut as well. Even if they're technically more complicated songs, that I will get stuck in a rut as well. And it's kind of like, am I really improving, or am I kind of just going through the motions? Now, going through the motions is actually really good if you're just trying to maintain your level of skill. And that sounds like what you're doing. It sounds like you're maintaining your level of skill, but you're not getting the improvement, that you're not pushing forward the way that you want to. So I go through seasons like that too, where I'm like, you know what, I actually want to enable myself to do something more than what I was previously capable of. So a couple of things that I do. The first thing is I'm not going to tell you to do any kind of routine that is boring and repetitive, just by itself. So I don't do rudiments or anything like that when I practice. Now, that I'm not telling you that you don't need to do that, but you're asking me what I do, and I don't play rudiments. I warm up, I'll do some singles or, before a show, some singles or some different rudiments just to make myself warm up. But when I'm in practice mode, rudiments at this point in my playing don't really come into it. And I'm not trying to sound like some guy that's like, I'm so good I don't think about it. It's not that. It's just I've played for so long and I've played so much that when I'm playing the drums, I don't think in the form of rudiments. I think I just play what I want to play. If it incorporates a double or whatever, it does. And incidentally, that kind of gets me to my next point, which is the way that I push myself and I obviously don't naturally play everything well. There are things that are still difficult for me to play, and I still don't play well, or maybe I can't even play. And the way that I come across those things and actually work to be able to play those things is by playing along with songs that I'm not familiar with. Because playing along with music is still fun to me, and that's the key. So I'll play along with, the first place I'll start normally is I'll pick an artist that I like, that I know several songs of theirs pretty well, even on the drums. And I'll just get their album out though, and I'll say, you know what, I'm kind of familiar with how these songs go, but I've never actually played them. But then I tell myself, you know what, today's practice session, I'm gonna play along with this entire record. I'm not skipping to the ones that I like the most or know the most. I'm gonna play along with every song. And that's an easy way to ease into the idea of playing with unfamiliar music. Now, the next step beyond that is something that I like to do. And I only do this if I'm really like up on my playing and I've had a chance to really kind of get back into it. And I go through phases where I don't play much and kind of lose some of my edge. So this would be something that I would do when I'm not in one of those seasons, when I'm back and I'm kind of into my playing and I've got my edge, I've got kind of my full groove back, so to speak. I'll play along with, I'll go find like the top iTunes chart or whatever, or one of the subscription music services, and I'll just pick the chart and I'll just hit play at the top of that chart and I'll just play all the songs at the top pop charts or whatever. Doesn't matter if I don't know it very well or whatever, but I'm playing along with it. And that will naturally introduce me to some melodies and some rhythmic ideas that I definitely had not thought of before and wouldn't naturally play. And it's outside of the music that I naturally pick and know. And so I haven't incorporated those things even into my thinking yet. And so that's another place to go. But the other thing is this, is that I really do try as much as I can, because I'm big on helping people be professional drummers. And these days, professional drummer means you're playing with a click track. I've had people disagree with me on that, but most everyone who disagrees with me on that are not people who are actually getting paid to play drums. So take that for what you will. But you got to play with a click track if you want to be a pro. And so with that in mind, I choose to only play along with music that I know is recorded with the click track. And if it speeds up and slows down a lot, I might sprinkle one or two in there in a long practice, but I'm not choosing to play along with an entire album that I know was not recorded with the click track. I'm not playing along with some freeform jazz, whatever, something like that. So I'm picking stuff to play with that I know was recorded with the click track. So that would be what I would suggest you do. I don't, like I said, I'm not the most disciplined person. And so some of you who are disciplined are going to be like, oh, you're terrible, Daniel. But for me, that's what I do. And like I said, what's great about the way that I do it is that I don't have to be disciplined, because I'm constantly doing things that I enjoy. And then it just so happens, or maybe I am choosing to do things that I enjoy, that I know the byproduct of those things is going to be my improvement. So start looking at it that way. Maybe think for yourself, what can I do on the drums that I would actually enjoy doing? But then I also know that a side effect of that is going to be my improvement from a technical perspective, and from a feel and a sensitivity, all the other things that go into playing drums and playing professionally. Think about it that way. All right, I hope that helps you today. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back again real soon for another episode of Drummer Daily. Bye for now.